This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports. It's a glorious Friday. We're making sure we get plenty of these interviews done in the sunshine, but delighted to join with the operator, Owen O'Neill, once again. Owen, I guess, first of all, obviously, congratulations to your mum. Obviously, I know you were initially supposed to fight on the Lopez Conor card 2 weeks ago, and your mum obviously getting married, obviously put heed to that.
Yeah.
I think I was sort of joking to you and saying, could you not hold it off a week and you can obviously get the fight in the SSE Arena, but I guess obviously you're back out in action now in 3 weeks' time. You're obviously it's pretty much your stable of fighters.
Yeah.
Most of the gyms obviously on the card, but your 12th pro fight and back to the Europa Hotel again. I'm sure with this weather here, you just probably can't wait to get the fight out of the way.
Yeah, definitely. I've been. This has been a really good camp for me. I'm not a big drinker anyway, but I haven't been out with my mates or anything in about 7 weeks. Or longer. You said about my mum's wedding. I went over to Gran Canaria, and my 2 friends came with me. All my family was there, and I didn't drink. I was eating good. I trained every day except the day after the wedding because it was burnt. They're crisp because I'm ginger.
Like
so,
me, I'm fair skinned.
Yeah, so like I was fully dedicated over there as well. So yeah, 3 weeks the next fight, and I'm moving down to welterweight. It's about time.
I know it's sort of something we spoke about in other interviews before, but sort of moving down in weight. But I guess sometimes it's easier said than done. And I know you've sort of done other interviews with you being a taxi driver. When you're out in days like that, it's easy to go and get an ice cream or an ice lolly or fizzy juice and stuff like that. Where for other people it might be easier to sometimes to come down and wait. For you, as a taxi driver, is your full time job. You're sitting down a lot and everything else, so it's probably a bit tougher to do. It's probably easier said than done sort of thing for you. So probably been a bit of a struggle in the way, but you're sort of now getting to grips with it.
Yeah, it's hard. Listen, flipping. I'm just one of the people. I love my grub. It's as simple as that. And I'm one of them bodies. Like there's people there that eat shit and they don't put on weight. And if I eat one chip, I'll put on about a kilo. That's just the way my body is. I haven't got a quick metabolism. It's shit, but I just had to do it the hard way, and I've learned it. So I mean, it's a long time coming. I've talked about it for too long, and it's just about time to do it. You know what I mean?
I guess that's where your sort of strength and conditioning and things like that, and obviously diet and stuff come into it. Like are you sort of, what are you sort of having to eat calorie wise sort of in a day to sort of get yourself down? I guess it's probably nearly too advanced sort of in boxing terms, but that's part of boxing nowadays is the calorie deficit you sort of have to be on. Like are you finding yourself getting more moody because you're eating less food and stuff as well?
No, well, my mates and my nanny and all probably say I am. But no, the thing with me is when I'm outside of camp, I just love eating and just love my growth. And the thing is now, we're going down to welterweight. I can't do that. Do you know what I mean? I just can't go out and eat. Like when I'm in camp, I'm 100%. It's when I'm outside of camp, I'm just eating this and eating that and going out for grub with my mates here and there, flipping everywhere. So I just can't do it no more. Do you know what I mean? I have to remember I'm a professional athlete. I have to act like it. Do you know what I mean?
I guess obviously Mark wants to keep you busy and as well, and I guess probably an award for you when you get down to welterweight is going to keep you busy, so you're sort of in camp to in camp.
Well, that's one of the things Mark said to me. Like, get down to welterweight, and there's big fights there for myself. And there are definitely fights I can win. Obviously, the lower weight, the better I'll be, and that's just what way I think it will be. Do you know what I mean? Like I know I beat the one Duffy. I knocked him out, but I was losing the fight. You know what I mean? I'm a realist. I watched it back many times. I was losing the fight, and he was too big for me. He was pushing me back, and my game is usually pushing people back. So I really do need to get the weight.
Obviously, that Owen Duffy fight, I think it's your first. I think it's your first stoppage ever. Did you have a stop? It's your first stoppage ever. Obviously, the confidence that comes with that as well. Obviously, they know that when the chips are down in the last round. I know we didn't really sort of speak about it before, after the fight and stuff, when you won the belt because you weren't sure of the condition with Owen, and I know we'd sort of get the all clear to say it was fine. But when obviously you could dig that out in the toolbox in the last round, but effectively you've been energy zapped throughout the fight. I know you were hurt at times in the fight and stuff as well. Does that obviously give you a new confidence now to know that you can actually, when the chips are down, you can put a punch together, you can put somebody, and hopefully obviously Owen take us bad, but to put someone to sleep, and obviously they and what a way to do it to win your first belt as well.
Yeah, definitely. It it was a fight that I was in the trenches. Do you know what I mean? I was in from round 1 to round 8. It was flipping. But I got fight of the year, all Irish fight of the year, and I got KO of the year. So that says a lot for it. But you always do wonder before that fight, like, flip. When I get it tight, will I be able to pull it out of the bag? And lucky enough, I did. And crazy enough, I actually enjoyed the fight as well. Do you know what I mean? It's one that people talk about still now, and they probably will talk about for another couple of years. Obviously, live on Irish TV. Absolute cracker. But yeah. So hopefully I'm not in too much more of them mad ones, like. But as long as I come out with a KO, like, I'll still be happy.
Or even with one.
Yeah.
I guess in some ways it's sort of, it shows to you, sometimes you don't know how you're going to be as a boxer until you're sort of tested in that way. So at least it's sort of building your confidence up to now that you were behind in a fight, you're able to keep going. And I guess Dee being in the corner, was able to obviously give you instructions to implement things different ways, and like you couldn't have probably asked for a sweeter knockout. They've sort of won it as well.
Yeah, but I actually remember the last round. In the corner, Dee said to me, "Go out and do not stop throwing punches. You need to stop him." I can remember it, and when I watched the fight back, the last round, the first punch I threw is a big right hand over the top, like, so I was obviously going for it. Do you know what I mean? And just lucky enough, thank God, I did knock him out. Do you know what I mean?
For you, I guess, when you didn't have any stoppages before, and your coach is sort of saying you have to go and knock him out, you're sort of going, how do you do this?
To be fair, like when Dee did say that to me, I thought I was always going to drop him with a body shot. That's what I thought I was going to drop him with or stop him with. Obviously I didn't go into the fight thinking I was going to stop him, but if it did, it was probably going to be from a body shot. That's what I thought, but I would never have thought I would have knocked him out like that. Like, you know what I mean?
I guess now when you have confidence that your hands can do that damage, it's not getting too gun ho now. Obviously I know when you'd someone rocked obviously in the Europa, you sort of tried to go for it.
Yeah.
It's sort of now you can relax and sort of know, and especially going down to welterweight now, you probably nearly have to, nearly as if you're having to restart again, because you can have to sort of balance yourself over the rounds to make sure you still have the energy and stuff as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I've done some cracking sparring this camp as well. I started off the camp with sparring Dalton Smith, British champion, probably the biggest prospect in the UK. Tough rounds with him, and I was holding my own as well. Like, so they get over there and spar him. Like, I'm doing all right. Like, you know what I mean?
That's Dalton Smith. He's sparred obviously, and Conor Ben now as well. It's sort of like and that's both in this year as well, isn't it?
Chris
Eubank. Chris Eubank. So that's Chris Eubank and Dalton Smith. He's sparred. And I guess it probably shows the connections Mark has there as well to be able to get you over.
Eubank was the couple of weights above, and then now because I'm moving down, it was Dalton. So it was good to have a wee bit of mixture there, you know what I mean, with the weights as well.
Hopefully you don't put the scud in Dalton Smith now. Obviously you obviously took everything out of Chris Eubank. He get beat by obviously Liam Smith.
I actually sparred Tom Maxwell as well, so I've sparred the both of them, you know what I mean, so it's good. Like,
I guess it's good to build that experience up, because you want to know what it's like for you to get to the next level. And obviously it's getting away from the sort of the Irish sort of scene now. You're 11-0, it's sort of looking to the next stage, and
definitely
probably now starting to look at like a European sort of build in some way.
Well, that's 100%. Like, I'm in boxing, professional boxing, to be successful and make something of themselves. You know what I mean? Like, I used to make a poster. That's what my trade was. Like, I was only learning it for 3 years, but like I quit it, became a taxi man so I could be flexible with training. Like, so it changed my life to do this, and I really do want to be successful, and then hoping to move down to welterweight here, get the win, and then push on for something big next. You know what I mean?
I'm always going to speak of something that we've spoke about before, and when we see this goodwill and everything else, do you still dream of solitude as a sort of I know it's a conversation you have with Leonard Gunnan and Dennis at Boxing Ireland. Is it a sort of conversation you've had with Mark yet to go? Because obviously I know you probably haven't been able to sell as many tickets. Obviously the Europa seems a bit smaller than the Devons. You haven't been able to sell as many. So obviously some of your fans probably haven't been able to get as much. You'd obviously, when you're making your debut and everything else, you had 300 and 400 people, and now with that sort of numbers dropped a bit, you want a bigger venue so you can get obviously a lot more fans there. And does that obviously that solitude, does that still ringing in your head?
It's obviously still a dream, you know what I mean? But still another good while to go too, like, do you know what I mean? If that does happen, that'll be at the right time, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't say I would be ready for it yet, anytime soon, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm a realist, like. So, but then again, Mark's working with Colm and Boston, Jamie and stuff. So maybe if they've got shoes coming up and I can get on them, like you said, I was meant to be on that Lopez and Colin card. Only my mum was getting married. Flip sake mummy. But no, so yeah, there's been plenty of chances, you know what I mean?
Is that what you sort of want now, the next stage to get into the SSE arena? Yeah. Obviously, Paddy's been in it.
Connor's given me some.
Connor's been in it. Colm's been in it.
Yeah.
You know, is that your sort of next step now? Do you obviously want to get in the SSE and obviously get a good slot on there as well, because you can sell a lot more tickets as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think it is. I've done, would you say, my apprenticeship. Like I've sold tickets from, this is my 12th fight. I've never had a problem selling tickets. I can't thank my family and friends enough. Because you know yourself, if you can't sell tickets, you'll find it hard to do well in the sport. So yeah, I can't thank all Lemons enough, and I think I deserve to give Lemons all, like me, a chance to fight in the Odyssey or Falls Park or something like that. I think I do deserve it.
Paddy's sort of come up similar, and I know when I spoke to Paddy obviously earlier today, he's now obviously getting into boxing management, and he has his first sort of sign on the way that we haven't disclosed, and now I know, and you obviously know who's obviously signing, it's not you, so Mark obviously doesn't think you're sort of pulling a fast one, but Paddy's obviously come up in the same way, in the fact that obviously he had the ticket sale to start, he obviously had dynamite in both hands as well, and he's able to build his way up. When you sort of look at a pattern Paddy's had, you want to sort of take yourself to the next level and get an SSE card, so you can sell 500 or 600 tickets, make a few pound in commission as well as obviously your fight purse as well, and give everybody a reward for sort of following your career so far to get them a big night out.
Yeah, exactly. Give everyone who supported me from my first fight in the Deadneys to now, to hopefully me fighting in the Odyssey or Falls Park or Solitude or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I think I do work hard and I do put the work in, and I think I do get the win 1st of July and hopefully push on for something big like that, you know what I mean?
I think obviously 2 weeks ago, I think it was the first time you and Conor haven't been on a card together in a while. He's kept ripping each other up saying, oh, you're my undercard, you're my undercard. But Conor obviously had a really good win obviously a couple of weeks ago. You know, I think he's now ranked 3 in Britain, and I think Mark said he's 3 in Europe as well, so I guess it's obviously, I know he's a really good friend, you take a piss at each other and everything else, but I guess it's good to be sort of surrounded like somebody with Conor as well, because we both know what Conor's talent is like. That's probably going to help you learn a bit more as well, because you were the first to admit it. You're obviously learning from all them guys in the gym, so it's probably a privilege for you to sort of share his company day in, day out in the ring.
No, definitely, that's 100%. I watch Conor when he's doing pads and whatnot, and I learn off him, like, flipping, we do school sparring and he punches at me every time. Like, I'm nowhere near Conor's level, and it's good for me to watch someone like him, because he is brilliant. Like, he's going to be the next big thing from here. Like, but like, sure, even like, I've only had 18 amateur fights. I probably had the less. I don't know how many Gerard Hughes has had, but in our stable, I've probably the least experience from amateur and competitions and stuff like that. But it'd be one of the most hard working, like, definitely,
Definitely, I obviously remember, you know, I think we've said it before, I remember obviously you first starting out, and obviously with Paddy Gall, and I know you if you were probably look at a picture from you when you were training with Paddy Gall, you know, you would go, that's not the same person, you know, the amount of weight you've lost from there, and obviously still doing it. I remember the picture we took, remember Paddy was in the middle of the ring, and you and Taylor and everybody else were all on the floors if they'd knocked everybody out.
That's right,
but that's about 5.
Because I don't think
5 years.
I think I was pro then. I was like training, just doing loads of sparring and stuff, and it just flies in too. Like, I remember people saying to me when I did turn pro, like Dan the man and Gerard and all, and Paddy, they were like, it just flies in. Like, there you go, for the first 4 years like that. You know what I mean? Crazy.
When you look over the last 4 years, you know, do you sort of pinch yourself at where you're sort of at? You know, do you think that you're in the cusp of your 12th pro fight in that time? We've been through a pandemic as well, and you obviously had to fight in Spain and Luxembourg where it cost you money.
Yeah.
You know, have you enjoyed the 4 years so far?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you feel you're further on than you probably would have realised? You know, where did you sort of set expectations? Sort of them, was it just to keep getting as many fights as possible? And
I remember Leonard Goodwin saying to me when I was talking about signing pro, he'd be like, "Oh, we'll get you to 10-0, and then you hopefully fight for a Celtic or an Irish title." And I got the, what was it? 10.
Was it 10-0 when you won? 10-0 when you won the belt?
Yeah, so it beat Duffy, and that couldn't have actually went any better, live on TV across Ireland. And obviously the things have got out of that, KO of the year, Fight of the year, sparring Chris Eubank, like that's one of the best things ever happened to me. Going over to spar Eubank, but by myself, meeting Ronnie Davis, meeting all them guys. Like I still had to pinch myself about that. And that wasn't even a fight, that was only sparring. But so yeah, like when I first set out, I didn't think I'd be doing this well, do you know what I mean? And now I'm hoping to push on here, 1st of July, get the win 12-0, and then hopefully something big next.
Where do you sort of reset your goals to next? That sort of, you know, do you just when we look at football sort of terms, and I know we both take a hand at each other in football, and we can't really both slate each other because we've both had terrible seasons. Sort of no European football. I think it's probably the first time nearly about 10 years that Corey or Cliftonville haven't been in Europe. But do you sort of look at it in the football terms, if you don't look too far ahead, next fight, do you sort of, do you now start to dream of them European title fights? Obviously Eric Donovan won the EU belt in Europa last year. Do you now start to look at that and go, next step is to get ranked in Europe?
Yeah, well, no, 100%. Like, I definitely think I can win a European title. I definitely do. Like, I've sparred some of the top guys who have won them, or do you know what I mean? But I definitely do. But then again, like, I don't look past the 1st of July, and that's 100%. Like, that's my only focus at the minute. And I know if I get the win, like, there's big nights ahead, like, definitely.
Obviously, a 6-rounder, obviously in 3 weeks tomorrow. Obviously 3 weeks today you'll made weight, and you'll be looking forward to a good Nando's. But obviously, what can everybody expect? Obviously from you on the 1st of July, I guess, obviously coming down in weight, you're probably going to have a lot. Well, we're hoping obviously you give a lot more energy. You've obviously been past 6 before. Obviously you've had your 8-round title fight. Obviously just a case of sort of stabilise your sort of back on and sort of being cautious sort of with it. You try and balance yourself over the 6 rounds.
Obviously would love a stoppage. But listen, I think I've definitely got better as a boxer, even the last couple of months. Over in sparring Dalton Smith, like, I surprised myself how well I've done, and he's a top prospect. He's British champion, like, and I was holding my own against him. So that's only made me better, and I just want to show people my improvement. Like, I do think I've got so much better here the last couple of months. So I just want to show it.
Just obviously when I finally speaking, because I know that sometimes you've been called out obviously online, and I guess I've sort of said to you sort of off camera that it's good in a way that you're sort of getting noticed, that people are starting to call you out, and people's calling you out because they know you're like the money sort of fight for them in Irish boxing. Do you sort of, I know you sort of, sometimes you're told not to say things and everything else, because as a fighter you'll fight anybody, you'll fight them in the street. Well, you obviously can't fight them in the street, you'll lose your licence, but you're happy to obviously get in there and trade with anybody. But do you sort of see that now, sort of looking back and going, when people's calling me out, I'm the person they're looking at as they get to that level?
It's a good thing. At the end of the day, it's definitely a good thing. Listen, people know me from around the area, my mates. Like, I'm not a pussy, like, you know what I mean? I would fight anyone. I've fought a lot of bigger people, a lot of heavier people, so I don't need to prove to anyone that I have a set of stones, you know what I mean? And that's the reason why I have Mark as my manager, because he's the one looking after me, and he's the one getting me the right fights, and hopefully I can win a couple more titles, you know what I mean?
Definitely. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure as always, obviously having a chat. I'm sure we'll look forward to obviously catching up with you when you move to 12-0 in 3 weeks' time.
I can't believe you flipping more alcohol and top in the house. Flipping raisin. I swear.
You asked me to have a spare one for you because Clifton was so bad now.
I can't believe you. I've let you. Flipping raisin.
Well, listen, it's great catching up with you as always, and enjoy obviously the sunshine the last couple of weeks and making weight. I guess it'll help you sweat a bit more.
Yeah, definitely.
With obviously the
heat there. Sleeping.
But it's obviously great to get a catch up with you. We'll catch you up in 3 weeks' time when you move to 12-0.
Good man, we're there, lads.
Cheers, Owen. Take care. Thank you.